You're watching Utah's #1 news station. This is 2 News at 4.
Welcome back. We've been talking the whole commercial break about budgeting, how scary it is, and how it sort of hurts to do it.
Yes, most people worry that if they set a budget, they're not going to stick to it. But worry no more, because with us today is Mike Peterson, who is the debt guru, who's going to tell us how we can actually make this work. Thanks for coming in today.
You bet.
So this is like in simple steps, is how you explain it.
Very simple. We're going to talk about 4 steps, and it's really easy. It's simple math.
Okay.
And if you have a budget, it's not restrictive. It can be if you want it to be, but having the budget will allow you to spend the money where you want to spend it. So let's go through some of the simple steps.
Okay, so step 1.
First thing that we want to do is identify the income. Okay, so we need to add up our paycheck, if we're getting alimony, child support, Social Security, add that up. Total that, and then we'll come back to that later.
Okay.
Second step we need to do is add up our expenses. There are 2 expenses that we're going to talk about. One is fixed expenses. This is your mortgage, your rent payment, car payment, anything that you're paying every month that's pretty much the same amount
Like my
every
clothing
month.
budget?
Clothing budget is going to be a variable expense, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. Total those up, and then we'll come down to variable expenses.
Okay.
This is harder to gauge.
Yeah.
And the best way to identify variable expenses is to track your expenses. Okay?
For how long?
We tell people, let's track them for 30 days.
Okay.
Now, that's a long time. So you can do it for 7.
Okay.
If we start with 7 days, we want to track everything. If we spend it on a credit card, with cash, with a check, we want to track that expense and identify what it was for.
Okay.
Then we're going to come back after we've done that and identify what were wants and what were needs in that variable expense category. And that's where it gets fun, because we find out typically people are spending 15% more than they realize they're spending on items that they had no idea.
It all adds up.
It all adds up.
Well, I can see how that would happen easily.
Right. So what you want to do is add up all of these expenses and add in total your fixed expense and your variable expenses. Okay, and in fact, we've got a simple spreadsheet that'll do all of the math for you that you can find on our website, debtguru.com/budget. It'll do all of the math. You add that up, and then you subtract your expenses from your income. Now, if you're positive, that's good news. Okay, and what we're looking for is 10 to 15% discretionary, okay, or in the positive. If we're 0 or negative, this is where we have to get creative, and we have to look back at our budget items, our variable expenses, and identify what can we do without. Is that Diet Coke every morning costing me $100 a month?
Yeah.
And do I really need it that day or every day? And if not, we can track those back, identify those expenses that we can do without, and maintain our budget.
Okay.
4th step.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I know we're all feeling uncomfortable, like we can't live by this. Never mind, we can do it.
The beauty about the budget, though, is once you have it in place, then you can go back and identify those areas where you need to modify. The scary thing is we work a lifetime earning an income, yet we don't spend any time managing it. Managing that income gives us the freedom to live in the home that we want to live in, have the retirement that we want to have, but we got to stick to it. And that's where discipline comes in, and you just have to do it if you really want to have those things that you dream about financially.
Yeah, and you don't want to be 90 and still working full-time paying your mortgage.
That's right.
Good way to think of it.
All
Yes.
right.
When we're that wrinkly, they're not going to want us on
They
TV.
don't want it. No, they don't. We'll be out of
Thanks so
work.
much.
Thanks so much, and that was debtguru.com, right?
Debtguru.com.
All right. Thanks.